Hi everyone, welcome to another Speakers Bank podcast. Today we're going to be talking about travelling issues and advice. My name is Oya and I would like to welcome our guest speaker for today, Julie. Hi Julie.
Hi Oya, how are you doing?
Hi. Okay, so today you're going to give us some insight into travelling issues and advice.
Yep.
So when and where was the last place you travelled?
I've only done a little bit of travelling. I spent 8 weeks over in Asia. I went to China, Nepal and Tibet, and then spent 11 days in Tibet as well, and then spent 3.5, nearly 5 weeks in Nepal, which was, very difficult countries to go and travel to, but it was well worth it if you're willing to take a chance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I was very lucky that I had 2 absolutely fantastic, amazing carers come with me. And they were just like, gave everything, their heart and soul. If it wasn't for them coming with me, I wouldn't have been able to achieve half the things that we did, because when in the places we went were third world, there wasn't much. They weren't wheelchair access. Like one of the places we went to in Tibet, they'd never seen a Westerner before, let alone a wheelchair. So we were put in situations where we kind of just had to deal with it at the time. Like our travel agent, when we booked it, had said that it would be a little bit difficult and challenging. So she and the other tour companies that we went with organised guides special to us, because travelling with a wheelchair wasn't like normal tours. So we had a lot of support from travel agents as well and tour guides as well along the way. Like in China, we were with the tour guide, same with Tibet, and Nepal we spent a little time with a tour guide, but in those 3 weeks, 3.5, 4 weeks, we were without a tour guide. We kind of just winged the trip ourselves and did like a little bit of like volunteer work at Cartagena, which is which is a disabled house for other wheelies over in Nepal. So it's the only facility that I have that kind of like accommodates people. Like a lot of the people still live at home with family and have family help them and stuff. So it was a really good eye-opening experience just to realise just how lucky we are over here in the Western world compared to over there in some respects, as far as like medical equipment and stuff, but they're a lot more luckier in other ways, I suppose. Completely different concept.
Wow, sounds like a great experience and different. So what was the one thing that surprised you about the places you visited? Like one thing that stood out?
I think the people. I think the people and experiencing the different culture and learning their religion, learning their language, learning the way they live their life, like how they cope with different situations as well. I think that's the one thing that really stood out, because like even we went to Pokhara Independent Living Centre, which is another main town in Nepal, and they have got a different disability as well. And I think just seeing that they don't have the same wheelchairs that we have, the wheelchairs they have, they're not new. Half of them aren't even sitting on pressure cushions. Like they don't have. But they don't have maxi taxis. There's no accessible buses. Like their footpaths aren't even concreted. They're normally like ditches, and you're dodging like cows and other people and carts and stuff along the way. But you still see them zooming up and down in their chairs and stuff. And you would not see any of us Westerners even attempting some of that stuff. I just think, our specialists put too many band-aids on us and put too many limitations on us, so we don't get to test ourselves and push ourselves to that limit to find out what our true capabilities are over here. Whereas over there, they know what they can and can't do because they have no other option but to do it.
Yeah.
Like one of the people I met over at Cartagena, he does a lot of like fundraising and does different runs different like groups and stuff to help raise money for the people in Cartagena for medical supplies and equipment and food and stuff. And his philosophy is, you'll see me struggle, but you will not see me quit. And he's quite an inspiring and empowering person to kind of like, take a step back and go, I'm pretty lucky. There's some really amazing people out there who are in the same situation as me, but doing 10 times so much more than what, I am. So,
It'd be amazing to just see how those limitations, like with what we work with and what they work with, sort of thing. That mantra, that's a really good little quote to keep in your head with everything. I think it sort of covers a lot of aspects of life, doesn't it?
It does. It's quite empowering.
Definitely empowering. Yeah, I agree. So what was one thing that you feel could have made your experience better?
Having a third carer come with me, because it was such a physical thing. Like, if you like, especially when we went through China, through all the temples and stuff, because in their culture they have like lips in against their palaces and they're just what's the name? Like they have like in their temples, because it stops bad spirits from entering. So of course there's a wheelchair access, so you've got to lift the chair up and down, and so going through all those obstacles, I think it was physically exhausting for them, because by the end of the trip, it was an 8-week trip, so probably by about 6.5, 7 weeks, they were just exhausted and they needed a break. So I was lucky that we organised some Nepali carers to come and assist me. So I think next time if I go for a big trip, I'll take 3 carers, not just 2, because it is a lot physically, and because like even though they're meant to be one day, one's meant to be on one, like rotate the shifts like day and night, you can't, because like you're doing tours, and you need 2 carers there. So how can one carer rest and only one carer work? It doesn't work. So it was a real eye-opener to kind of like how to manage, like time manage as well, and like how best to utilise downtimes. Like when we go back to the hotels and stuff, like making sure they had their time out as well, so they were fresh for the next day. So,
yeah, that's actually a really good thing. You mentioned you guys had already organised carers in Nepal to come and help. I think that's a real...
Yeah, that was last minute because one of my carers got sick. So our travel agent, our Australian care agency and the Nepali travel agency were trying to organise the carers. So between the 3 of them, they had to do this like circle and try to explain what my care needs were to find the carers. And Nepal doesn't have the carers like we do. Like we have attendant care agencies, and they will send us carers who know about hygiene and know about like lifting policies and all this sort of stuff. That doesn't exist in Nepal. So what they actually did was they actually pulled to our travel agent in Nepal actually pulled in to close family friends to care for me. So they weren't actually carers, they were actually volunteering their time, and they did it as a favour to him. So even that in itself speaks for itself, the care and the time and the thought that was given by even the travel agents that helped us through the journey, because,
that is really amazing, and it's something really good to think about before people
have a plan.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So what advice would you give a person who is in a wheelchair and travelling that you wish someone had told you?
That's a really good question. I think have cash of the currency in the country you travel to, because when we're in Tibet, we were at the Gonka airport trying to come back, and we ran out of like Chinese currency, because in Tibet they still use Chinese currency, and our international travel cards, because Tibet they don't have credit card facilities and card facilities.
Yeah.
Our credit cards weren't working, our travel cards weren't working. And so we're driving around to like ATMs on like one of my carers' dad was on a scooter driving around outside the airport. We're in taxis driving miles away to try and get cash out of the ATM, and we had like no cash. And strangers were offering us like cards, and we were like, no, that's right. And then ended up being our tour guide, ended up helping one of the Tibetan ladies at the airport who ended up paying I had to get through. And then we had to, at the other side, when we got back into Nepal, we paid him back. But if it wasn't for him, we would have been stuck in Tibet,
Wow.
not at the airport, because we didn't have cash. We had no cash in that currency. So always carry enough cash in the country currency that you go to, because you get caught.
So definitely research your currency.
Make sure you have enough cash.
Yeah. So if a person who was building a hotel in one of the countries that you visited was listening to this podcast, what is something you would want them to know that would have made your stay, or would make your stay, so much easier?
I think more so in China, it's the same as here, really. Just making sure that there's like wide doorways, that the bathrooms open plan. Like most bathrooms nowadays are open plan, so you can kind of like manage around it. But I think if there was somebody at a higher level as what I am, they would have needed like wider showers, no bathtubs, just a shower in the disabled bathrooms, and just access like under the sink, like no cupboards, just basic stuff like that, and rails at the toilets. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's really good advice. So just more accessible.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for your insight today, Julie. It's been so lovely hearing your story. Kind of makes me want to go places, and I'm such a homebody, so it's just very exotic hearing Tibet and even Japan and China, and so I'm really happy that you had gotten a chance to have these experiences and that you shared them with everyone else.
Thank you guys for inviting me.
Yeah, no worries. So hopefully we get more from you next time you decide to travel, if we're allowed to travel anytime soon. So thank you everyone for listening, and don't forget to hit our like and subscribe button down below, and thank you.
No worries. Thank you guys.
Bye.